You know when you're out fishing and you see a bass in the water, and even though you know it's seen you and you're busted, you still can't help yourself but to toss your bait a few feet ahead of where it swam off to and make it dance all over the place, praying it turns around and eats it? Well, I do that all the time. But here's the thing, that mindset, it shouldn't just happen when you can see the fish, and that's what this video is about. Fishing like every single cast has a bass watching your bait, whether it's following right behind it or sitting in an ambush spot waiting for the perfect moment. It's your job to make your bait do something that finally triggers the bite. It sounds simple, but it's one of the biggest mindset shifts you can make to catch more bass. Because once you start fishing like that, your retrieve changes and so does your focus. You'll fish with purpose. You'll start anticipating where that bite's going to come from. It's like a game. Make the bait do something and imagine how that bass reacts to it. Now let's break that down with a couple of examples. Let's say you're fishing a spinnerbait and you have this big branch sticking out of the water, which is an obvious piece of cover where a bass could be sitting. You cast past it, reel up to it, and then you either kill it or you burn it, hoping that that bass reacts. But if it doesn't, you keep trying. You cast again, adjust your retrieve, and even fish around the target from a different angle. You're putting all this effort in because that branch puts it in your head that there's probably a bass there. But here's the real test. Can you keep that same mindset when there's no obvious target? Like on a big grass flat where everything just looks the same, and after a few casts with no bites, you start imagining this, and you're thinking, there's no bass here. That's when you might start just chucking and winding. Don't fall into that trap. Instead, picture a bass is there following your bait. Imagine it's lurking behind a patch of grass or near a rock or something you can't even see. Then you mess with your retrieve. You burn it, you pause it, burn it again. If a real bass is behind that bait, that sudden burst might be what it takes to catch it. Same thing with glide baits. That quick twitch and pause that makes it do a 180 to stare down a follower, that's what triggers strikes. And it works for all sorts of baits like a lipless crankbait, a jig, swim baits, top water. Adjusting speed and direction converts more followers into biters. Here's a little tip. When it's slow, give yourself a little mini challenge. Pick some sort of a target, whether it's a weed line or a stump or even just out in the open water, and just make a cast and force yourself to retrieve the bait to that exact spot while making it do different movements. Even if nothing bites, you're training yourself to fish with purpose. You're developing an instinct for what might trigger a reaction when a bass is present. Another example, let's say it's like early morning, low light, and you think bass are staging along a shallow flat. So you're throwing a spinnerbait or a chatterbait, and instead of just letting your cast feel like just another cast, imagine a bass is tracking your bait every time it hits near the weeds. Even just thinking about it can keep your brain engaged, which keeps your hands reacting quickly when a strike actually happens. Those sudden changes in speed, direction, and pauses, they ultimately teach you what makes a bass commit, and it can be different on any given day. And keeping that mindset cast after cast keeps you engaged too. When you're focused like that, you start noticing what actually gets you bit, and before long, all of this just becomes second nature to you, and you'll become an infinitely better bass angler. So, next time you're out on the water, fish every cast like something's watching. Even if you think there's nothing around, odds are something is. And even on tough days, when nothing seems to bite, keeping this mindset will help you spot little opportunities and maximize every single cast. If this video helped you, hit the like button, tap that new hype button, subscribe to the channel, and consider joining as a Pond Bassin supporter to help me keep making videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.